All right, what's the best lifestyle optimization to be doing, or the best peptide if you're bit by a rattlesnake? A hospital. We can't just biohack everything. Sometimes we need to actually enjoy modern medicine and just throw the experimental stuff out. This is gonna be a little bit off brand for me, but if you know me, I love reptiles. Everybody needs a herp guy. I liked snake bite complaints whenever I worked in the ER. Sometimes there are complaints that you like, and I like reptiles, and so I'm just gonna give you some general information over rattlesnake bites. We are in West Texas, it's hot. We just had one up at the house the other day, so it reminded me, and I re-looked into it, even though I don't even treat rattlesnake bites anymore, just for general info. The most common venomous bites in the United States are from pit vipers. This includes rattlesnakes, copperheads, cottonmouths, and we call bites from these snakes crotalline envenomations. Their venom can cause local tissue damage, so swelling, blistering, necrosis, coagulopathy, meaning your blood doesn't clot right. So if you had a little bit of blood and you squirt some venom on it, makes it where the clotting factors are basically depleted. They can have some mild neurotoxic effects. Living in West Texas my whole life, there are a few wives' tales I've heard that we'll go over. Applying a tourniquet actually does not improve outcomes. That traps the venom locally, like say you're bit on your leg and you stop and you apply a tourniquet here, that keeps it all concentrated right there. And so that starves the tissue of oxygen and can actually cause more damage. One of the things I've been told in the past is to get a knife and cut X's over each puncture wound, and that'll help bleed it out a little bit better. Honestly, that just creates a bigger wound and does not really seem to help bleed out any more of the venom. Do I need to start sucking out the venom once I'm bit, or if somebody else is bit? This is not recommended either, just because the venom can absorb through the mucous membranes in your mouth, especially if you have small cuts, if you have any type of mouth disease. There are just those commercial suction devices. I mean, I'm gonna say if I was an hour away from everywhere, I would maybe try that real quick to see immediately after if I had it on hand. But I'm not gonna be applying it trying to suction, because that's gonna further just concentrate that venom and promote skin breakdown and everything. Just a quick education thing, venom is injected, so snakes are venomous. Snakes are not typically poisonous. Poison is ingested. So poison dart frogs that you eat make you sick. So if you eat it and makes you sick, that's poisonous. If it bites you and makes you sick, that's venomous. Just a little side note. So what do you actually do if you're bit? What you need to do is try and stay as calm as possible. Lowering the heart rate will help keep it from being dispersed too rapidly. Wherever you're bit, you want to try and keep it at heart level. Don't dangle, don't elevate, just at heart level. And then you need to try and get to a hospital as fast as you can. The antivenin is the only thing that's really been shown to halt progression of the symptoms and improve overall outcomes. If you can, make an outline of where it is currently, because we're going to be tracking that every hour or two just to see how fast it's progressing. I have seen some things to take a Benadryl right as you're bit, and that may help prevent worse outcomes. Benadryl itself isn't going to really help anything from the envenomation. One of the problems with the antivenin is that you do get allergic reactions to it, and it does seem to maybe decrease allergic reactions to the antivenin. There was a study where we're giving epinephrine prior to the antivenin seemed to decrease the reactions, and it outperformed Benadryl, steroids, any of the other pre-treatment stuff we've tried. There's no big studies to show that. Benadryl is going to be pretty harmless. If I was bit, I would probably just try Benadryl, just to try something. Mainstay of treatment is to just get to the hospital to get the antivenom. There is a thing called dry bites. About 25% of pit viper bites are actually dry, meaning they just punctured you. There was no venom injected. From the ER standpoint, we still watch you for several hours and make sure you're not progressing. I'll typically check labs, just to make sure that none of the coagulation factors are out of whack. The big two I'm looking at are if your platelets are less than 100,000 or if your fibrinogen's less than 100, then that may be signs that you had more of a envenomation rather than a dry bite. I'm much more likely to give the antivenom. You can get other coag panels just for monitoring for DIC and make sure no interventions with that need to be carried out. In the US, we typically use Crofab or Anavip. Those are the brand names for the antivenom. And these cover all venomous snakes in North America except for one. Do you know what that is? Coral snakes. Coral snake is actually a neurotoxic venom, and these do not treat the neurotoxic venom of coral snakes. Coral snakes are the ones that are the typical red and yellow kill a fellow, red and black friend of Jack. Red and black is a milk snake, and they're harmless. And I believe Anavip, we were switching to Anavip. I think it was showing to have less serum sickness, and I hope it was easier to mix. I've not mixed the Anavip, but Crofab was terrible to mix up, and the multiple vials you're giving all the time, it just felt like you're mixing up a ton of Crofab. So let me know if Anavip is easier to mix up. So if you come to us for a bite and we watch you for a little bit and nothing changes, you get to go home. But if we are giving you the antivenin, we're going to admit you to the hospital to recheck your labs for coagulation factors. We're going to be monitoring swelling checks, making sure things aren't progressing to where some need like fasciotomies to cut their legs open to prevent compartment syndrome. Sometimes you'll need IV fluids, blood pressure support, especially if you're getting third spacing and all the fluid is getting out of your vasculature and just going into the tissues from the venom of the bite itself. Airway management is something to consider if you're bit in your head or neck, and that would need to be, prophylactic intubation or something just to make sure that the airway is still able to be maintained with potential rapid swelling. It's hot, snakes are out, everything in West Texas, sticks, stings, or bites. So I just wanted to give some information about snake bites, and also I just like talking about any of my poeciliothermic reptile friends that I can. So if you have any questions, just let me know. We'll talk about it.